and yet it didn't go live on me. So, hi everyone, let me start again. Happy February 29th, and I hope everyone is having a awesome leap day. And a happy birthday to anyone that is celebrating their birthday today, because I do know a few people that are actually born on the February 29th. So, sorry about the delay. Like I said, it went live, but then it didn't go live. So now I can see if you can see me and if you can hear me, say hi to me so I can say hi back, and let me know where you're listening from and tuning into, because I am able to get Facebook and YouTube to work, but I don't think I'm getting the Instagram, and I don't know how to do that. I follow the directions, but it's not working. So there's Janet from California and Tansy. Hello, you two wonderful, beautiful ladies. Happy February 29th. Tansy, didn't you just have a birthday? I think you did. I think it was before me. So happy belated birthday again. We are live, and today I have a very special guest. She's been a longtime friend, and she is a empowerment life coach, and we are going to go over a few things on, hey, Tammy Benson, on how people can tap into and dive into discovering their self-worth, their self-respect, their empowerment, and you don't need to be a professional already. It's you can take all this information and grow your own personal world, your personal life, and you can also use the information that she is going to be giving us tonight as well into your professional life, and motivate yourself to go to your highest potential. So I want to bring on my good friend, and I'm I may butcher her last name. I do know how to say it, but every once in a while my tongue just goes tongue tied, and yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, I would love for everyone to give a warm welcome to my good friend Irene Michaelides. And okay, come on, there we go. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I am great. I am great. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. This is so
My
exciting.
my cat is deciding to wanting to be involved with this and is very yappy right now. So I have to give her some
Beautiful.
head scratches. So if you see me leaning, it's because she's moving away from me, but she still wants me to reach and go and scratch her head. So Irene, you
Yes.
are what I'm calling you an empowerment life coach.
Okay.
And because I've seen your work before, we've talked many times about it, and I feel you just don't fit one category. And and so that's why I said empowerment, because I know you love to work with people and diving and digging into discovering their passion and their own abilities be to be the best versions of themselves through their own efforts and merits.
Mhm.
Tell me exactly, because I do know your background. So tell me a little bit about your background, but how you got into the coaching form.
Mm. Okay. So, hello, everyone. Thank you for the highs. Um, well, I've been a leader. I've been an educator. I've been an advisor to high level leaders for many years. I come from the corporate world. And like everyone here and everyone in the world, I've faced many challenges in life and business, and coach others through life changing experiences as well. And I, you know, decided that I left a very successful corporate career and wanted to follow my passion. I love people. I love to impact people. I just something about being part of someone's journey just kind of, it's the greatest reward that I receive. And I wanted to do it on my own and create the impact on my terms. So today I do coach driven leaders, both women and men, who do get, to get them unstuck, to dream bigger, to become their most authentic self, and providing them that support and growth progress in being exactly who they want to be while building their courage, confidence, and in achieving their personal and professional goals. So when you say empowerment, absolutely, empower and transforming them is my sweet spot.
Right. And how do you find, or what kind of clientele do you connect with, and people are looking for the connection with you?
Mhm.
Where they tend to land?
So, you know, because I came from corporate, the clientele is through the network of referrals from that world, and these are leaders who are not necessarily just wanting to be coached on how to be a better leader within the organization, even though I do get that. These are the ones who are stuck and waking up every morning going, "Why am I still doing this grind? I'm not
Right.
fulfilled.
Right.
There's more to life." And I
Yeah.
will say, since we all experienced COVID, that became like the number one thing that everybody was asking. And what I've discovered is, they couldn't see how to connect the gap or the connection and bridging it from a corporate leader to becoming your own authentic self leader, right?
Nice.
So it's
Right.
not just the roles and the titles that so they felt kind of, how do I remove that, because that's my security blanket,
Right.
and be something else. And those are the ones who I love to work with, because I'm not here to teach you how to lead an entire company. Yes, I've done it myself, so I know that. But I'm here to kind of go somewhere deeper, and that is in the heart, in the mind, in the soul. And I laser coach and I speak truth.
Oh, we need honest truth, but I do know that with your truth, you wrap it up so it's not abrasive.
Yes, correct, correct. I mean,
Because for me, and I have had coaching before. Um, I My style of how I want to be coached is give it to me.
mhm,
I'm here because
mhm,
obviously I recognize that there's something bent, broken, not working. I'm being misdirected within myself, whatever, like whatever it is. So I don't need hand holding. I want, I want the blast. I want
right,
to be able to take charge,
yes,
get in my right mindset,
mhm,
and then figure out an action plan so that I can get over
mhm,
trauma, being stuck, whatever the case may be. So if someone isn't a professional and working for a large conglomerate or a corporation, and they're maybe self-employed, or
mhm.
they're thinking about making that shift and change with going into that new form, are you able to work with them?
I love those people. I
Perfect.
love those people, and I'll tell you why. For those corporate, I love you too, but I love these people only because they're not jaded yet,
Right.
right? So they're
Yes.
not in that world of so much structure that it's like, how do I take off all the shields?
Right.
These are the ones who I feel where our connection, of course, we have to be able to connect properly,
Yep.
but those are the ones that I will still not hand hold.
Right.
However, there are boundaries that are being put in place. However, I'm not here to say, here's the list, do A, B, C, D, and you're good, because that's consulting. That's not
Right.
coaching.
Right.
So the coaching with these individuals, entrepreneurs, business owners, those are the ones that, you know, sometimes they just need somebody to listen to.
Mhm.
Sometimes they need that space, and sometimes they need structure. Sometimes they need, you know, to self discover who they are again, or sometimes they just need to how to self manage themselves because they're like entrepreneurs. They're doing 10,000 things, right?
Right.
So how, those are the ones that I love because because, it's not the company paying for it.
Yep.
It's out of their own pocket.
Yep.
And we all know when you pay for something, you want value back.
Right. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And for me, I definitely received value when I got connected with the life coach I worked with, and this was before you were even a
Yeah.
life coach. But FYI, guys, by the way, if you have a question for Irene, please post it, and we will get to some of these questions before. So if you're curious about how to grow personally, uh, or in a career way, you want to find some little nugget of truth with something that you're stuck with, put those questions in the comments and we will get to them.
Mm-hmm.
um, Now you have this coaching style
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of have a framework with what you were going to do tonight, as far as like, this is a generic kind of vibe, because obviously when you are going to be working with someone one-on-one, you're going to definitely tailor it to their needs and wants and visions and goals.
Right.
But I go over your framework, if that's what you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
how you want to, or how a session with you would kind of go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am not a typical coach.
Yeah. I
I
love
am
it.
not a coach who opens up the encyclopedia and starts going through question by question by question by question.
The coach questions.
Coaching questions, because we can all Google them and we can all find books on them,
Hands
which
on
are
phone.
great. They're
Yep.
great for reflections. Um, my style is, once I connect with someone or someone reaches out or whatever it is, our first conversation is pretty much like what they call discovery. It's really
Yep.
just really, um, you know, getting to know each other. However, what I do differently is I ask for permission to coach them in that moment based on what they just told me. I pay attention to what they say, why they're here, or they think they're here, because sometimes you say one thing, but you actually want something else.
Yeah.
I listen deeper than what is being said. I sense the individual and totally using my own intuition, as we all have, and really kind of dive right in.
Right.
And at that moment, I do that because that's my way of qualifying. Are
Right.
you coachable
Right.
or not?
Right.
And are you ready for me or
Yes.
not?
Are you ready
Right.
to transform?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people say, wow, I want to have a coach.
Right.
And then they don't want to do the work. Well, in that moment, they will feel what it will be like.
Right.
So I don't need an hour or two. I mean, it is done with whatever we decide on, but I could have a 15-minute conversation and sometimes that's satisfying. And sometimes, people want more and that's okay. So it really kind of works with, who's in front of me and um, how does that conversation go? And then from there, if we decide to move forward, I basically give them kind of an insight in terms of how it works. Everything is catered to the individuals. So it's not, here's a template, let's fill this out. I'm not that coach. I'm here for you, whoever you are, and whatever you need, and I customize it accordingly.
Yep.
And based on that, we create our contracts. And then, that's how it goes.
Right. That is
That is
awesome.
both agreeable. And I'm not that coach who's going to say, here's what it is, sign up now.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
because it is an investment and it is an investment for you, for your growth, for long term, not just short term. Right?
Right. It's your investment in
Yeah.
self improvement. You mentioned quite a few times, with the spiritual connection with your coaching.
Yes.
Elaborate on a little bit on, like, where like what's going on when you are coaching. Are you feeling, are you sensing, are you
Yeah.
know what exactly is your connection with the spirit
Right.
towards? Yeah.
So I have, I don't know, you call it a gift. I don't know. We're all are
You have
intuitive in some
ability.
ways.
Yeah.
However, mine is I understand people.
Right.
So when someone speaks, the deeper listening that I hear is deeper than what is being said out
Yeah.
loud. I sense their energy
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel it. And
Right.
I just feel it and I just know where to go.
Right.
And that's why it has to be the individual in front of me, not here's a cookie cutter kind of setup.
Right.
This is what you do, this is what I do, that kind of thing. So it's really about tuning in and really trusting my instinct, my intuition, and using it for life.
Yeah.
And that's what we all have. And sometimes my clients discover through coaching that they have like that sense, and they're like, I can't believe I just did that, and that's
Right.
because we're tuned in, right?
Right.
So when you tune in,
Because
so
you got
that's
rid of the garbage.
yes, yes,
And I always say this to people with using their intuition. They want to become more psychic. Get rid of your ego. Get rid of the garbage, because
oh,
your
absolutely,
ego, you're dumpster diving, and
that's
all
right.
you're going to find is manipulation and control issues. And,
Absolutely. And,
and
and ego, one of the things of how you manage yourself is to let go of that ego, exactly on
yes,
that point. Because the ego, pride, whatever you want to call it, that's your sense of fear.
yes,
That's a sense of many things, right? And then depending
absolutely,
on, what triggers it. But that's defensiveness comes on and yeah, that's, so yeah, I like to just that's why I do those conversations, and then we feel through that, and then everything gets designed based on their needs.
perfect. So tell me this: evolve and become your best version of yourself. How are you going to help that with that?
Well, first you have to want to decide you want to evolve. You want to commit and understand why you want to do that, what's driving it, and where do you see yourself becoming once you evolve.
Hmm.
And when you have
Hmm.
clarity,
Hmm.
we then look at the truth.
Right.
And then we look to uncover who you are as an individual,
Right.
authentic self, we call
Right.
it.
So say someone says, well, I want to be able to earn $1 million.
Great. What are you earning today? And where's that gap? And what does that look like? And are you ready in your mindset, in your beliefs, in your kind of I do this, I speak with my hands,
Me
people.
too.
um, in your dialogue and narrative that goes on inside of you, are you open to receive that, accept that, or not?
Yeah, because you know what? People have a fear of money. People have a fear of earning more.
Absolutely. Yes.
They know what it's
Absolutely.
like to live in lack. They know
Yeah.
how it's like to live in scraping
That's
by,
comfort.
and it's comfort. But
Hmm.
when you say, I want $1 million a year,
Hmm.
what are you willing to do?
Right.
What are you willing to give up?
Yes.
Thought processes, old
Yep.
habits,
Even
some
people, everything.
right?
Absolutely. You got to shed,
Yeah,
animals shed every season, right?
yeah,
And they shed for a reason.
yeah,
you know Trees shed leaves for a reason, because to renew. What are you willing to shed? And
yeah,
are you taking that deep self-reflection, asking those questions? And you can use journaling to do that. You could do your meditation, whether it's like walking. I do walking meditation. I
yeah,
can't sit there and just meditate. And my husband can do it in 3 seconds and he's like somewhere else. I'm
right,
sitting there going, this is not working. I go to walk in the meditation. People are talking to me. My niece, anybody will come by. I don't even see them because I'm in
right,
meditative mode.
right.
So
You're
whatever works for you.
yeah,
And that's where, You be an honest, truth, self-reflection, and ask yourself those deeper questions. If I wanted to be a million and have a million, well, what will it take for me
Right.
to become a millionaire in a mindset, and what it will take for me to do differently, everything from habits, from daily habits, from everything that I do,
Right.
who I work with, what I do, everything. I look at every single thing to make those changes.
Yep. So, with who you've worked with in the past,
Hmm.
what are some of the common motivators that they want to embrace to break habits, unhealthy habits,
Hmm.
like thought processes? How can you say to some of the people that are watching us tonight to help them find their motivation?
Right. Well, it's funny you asked me that because I had a client who resisted. Oh my goodness, was a is it definitely a go getter who this is very driven, but doing the little subtle things of just slowing down and do nothing.
Yeah, that's powerful. Stand in spot and slow down and breathe.
It was like I was asking for you to climb Mount,
Everest.
Kilimanjaro. You
Right.
know, it was just like, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
Sure.
Or just let go of the phone for an hour. Can you do
Yeah,
that? So it depends on who the individual is and what their
of
thing
course.
is. Many people will sell you, tell you, show you what worked for them,
Yep.
which is fantastic.
Right.
You do you.
Exactly. Stay in your
You
lane.
got to find, the options are there. I offer, many resources and tools and all that stuff, but it's up to the individual. And then if they resist all of it, I'm going to say, okay, so why don't you come up with one? You know, so I can't get everybody to journal, right?
Right.
But I got them to do one thing that's a little bit different,
Right.
depending on the individual. So one individual loved, everything aesthetically to be beautiful. So I said,
Mhm.
okay, do you love candles, music, low lights, bubble baths? Absolutely. Great. So while you're there, think of this question, write it down. And then when you come out doing your thing, continue on that writing. And that person just went, oh my, like I wrote 5 pages, which I never write. So, and I'm not saying everybody's to do journaling. There's different ways of doing different things.
Right.
It's really just being tuned into what you like. It's like, you know, I don't like, I don't know, skiing on 100, minus 50 degrees. But
Right.
I love being on the chalet and I'll be in that little square thing that takes me up there. It's
Right.
all good. Have I
Yep.
tried it? Yes. Plot me on a beach, 40
Like you.
degrees, 50 degrees. I'm happy.
Yep.
So everybody works differently.
Yeah, for sure. And what about align and connect with your inner self and outer self?
Yeah.
Because we hear that like connect to your inner self, connect to your outer self, but
Mhm.
how do we align it so that we're connected in and out?
Right. So, first of all, to connect to yourself is just tuning into to you. So
Mhm.
sitting in silence, listening, take a moment. Everybody right now, take a deep breath in. Hold and let it out. Do that a few times. And if your eyes are still closed or if you're still doing the deep breath and hold and then let it go, pay attention to your body.
Mhm.
Pay attention to how the breath goes up and down. Can you
Mhm.
hear your heartbeat?
Mhm.
Once you are in that place, A, you're calmer, B, you're more present, C, you start to build that resilience of, awareness and observation. And that's where you start connecting and hearing, feeling what comes up.
Nice. If you're just joining us now, I'm Louis Maybe, psychic medium, and my very special guest tonight is Irene. She is an empowerment life coach, and we are trying to. Our goal today is to inspire you to live your best authentic life and tap into your own personal leadership and grow your life any which way you want in many abundant ways. Um, I would love to see who's watching. So please say hi in the comments and where you're coming from. I can see Tammy and Janet and Tansy and Val and Debbie. Some of them are Facebook, some of them are from YouTube, and some of them from Facebook. And I know I have my Instagram working finally, so that is good. And there's Trish. Hi, Trish. Um, so we're gonna go through a few more things with Irene, and then I'm actually gonna put a link in now. Irene is very wonderful to be able to offer anyone a 50-minute consultation session to help identify if she's the right fit and you're the right fit for her. I'm going to post that link right in the comments section, so you can book a time that works best for you. Hello, Carla. I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Hope you're feeling better. So yeah, and we're going to get to some questions. You can ask questions to Irene. You can ask questions to me. Um, we're here to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what about this one? Self-love and acceptance.
Mm-hmm. This is a topic that surprisingly many have difficulties in.
Yeah.
Loving thyself. You know, we've all heard of know thyself, loving thyself. You know, the relationship that you have with yourself
Mm-hmm.
sets the tone for others and their relationship in your life.
Right.
Listening and understanding what your needs are, taking care of you at whatever stage of life is important. When
Mm-hmm.
you love yourself, it is not, what it is not being selfish.
Right.
Because when you love yourself, then your heart is open and you
Yes.
can help many.
Right.
So it is
Including
a
yourself.
place where, sorry,
Including yourself.
including yourself, absolutely. You know, the need to recognize our self-worth is attached to self-love. The embracing the imperfections is self-love.
Right.
Cultivating self-love is important.
Right.
Compassion to ourselves, kindness, respecting yourself. If you
Mhm.
respect yourself, you love yourself.
Yeah.
Embodying the love that you seek through compassion and understanding in your interaction does create what's called a ripple effect that
Yep.
extends beyond you. So when you vibrate love, it just goes out there. And if you're looking at it of like, okay, today I'm going to love myself, that's not how it works.
Right.
It just comes naturally.
Yeah.
You know, releasing external validation and opening up to genuine connections is self-love. You need to trust that and you need to live it in the now. So, you know, when you're trying to be part of a group and it's just not working and it's not working and nobody likes me. And, you know, we hear that all the time, right? Why is that?
Yeah.
What is the vibration that you're giving?
Right. And of
Um,
course, you can obviously help identify with
yes,
the people that you're
yes,
working with and how to modify,
of
adjust, and
course,
change.
of course.
Yeah,
Because sometimes, you know, it's somebody who's grown up being told you're unlovable.
you're not
You
worthy.
know, they're told so many things.
Yeah.
And that's, we have to deconstruct that,
Yep.
deconstruct it, and rewrite. I mean, here's the beauty that we're given as human beings. I know you speak to souls, Lois, but on a human earth planet, we have been given a gift. We can
Yep.
always recreate whatever we want, and we
Yep.
all have choices.
Exactly.
So if we recreate our narrative on self-love, and what does that mean to us? When I start to love me, how many here have a pet or a person or someone that they love unconditionally? Why not yourself?
Exactly.
Why not yourself?
Why is it so easy to give your love to a pet or to receive that unconditional love from a pet that communicates in a different way,
Yes.
doesn't use our words, but yet 100% when Cleo purrs, she's loving. When a
Mhm.
dog wags its tail, it's loving.
Yeah.
And why is it so hard for us to accept that love to ourselves, to embrace it? And I think, going into this, and if you want to work with Irene, there's a lot to unpack, like a lot. And it's definitely gonna be worth it. We're gonna have one more point, and this is Irene's little acronym, and she's gonna go over really quickly, and then we're gonna get into some questions. And if you have
Yeah.
any questions for Irene, please post them in the
Yeah.
comment section. If you have any questions for me, please post them in the comment section. And tell us about
Ria.
reevaluate,
I call it
review,
Ria. And you know
Ria,
what?
Ria.
It started when I first started coaching, and that's many, many years ago. Um, I don't know, where it came from. And I was just like, oh, Ria. And that's how it started. And I'm like, what is that? I never say that word. And so Ria for me is every day, every week. To be honest, I don't do it every day. I do it every week because I'm very busy and whatnot. But at end of each week, I do a self reflection review for my day, for my work, for whatever it is, and it's called a RIA. RIA stands for, first, it's uh, to review
Yep.
by reflection. So by reflection, using what tools and modalities that work for you, for whether it's journaling, meditation, it helps you uncover to see any patterns. How do you live? All of those things. And
Right.
then I evaluate so that I can evolve. I don't so let me be clear. I don't evaluate on a scale of 1 to 0 because
One to
that's
10.
measuring.
Right.
I evaluate on, this worked great. How can I do more of that? This
Right.
didn't work out great. What could I do differently?
Adjust, pivot.
And or
Yeah.
asking those questions, and what if I try this, would that result look different? So it's not a matter of, oh my god, that was bad and out of 10. So I don't do that. So that's evaluating, because when you're reflecting, you're evaluating, is this the truth? Am
Right.
I being honest with my evaluation and reflection? And then I make adjustments, make adjustments to what needs be. Do I need
Right.
to change maybe my schedule differently, or do I need to you know get back on that thing that I said I was going to do, and whatever the case is, and really take action and take steps towards it. So I usually do it on a weekly basis. Everybody does things differently. People like to do it at the end of the night. Sometimes people like to do it whatever. But it's about consistency, because consistency is taking ownership, and taking ownership is commitment, and the commitment is to yourself, and
Right.
you can only help yourself.
Right. So, how do we get in contact with you?
Well, my website is on construction, because we're revamping it. But the best way is an email.
Okay.
And it's, I think, Lewis, if you could put it up there, it's
Yep.
IRI and I. So I'm not Irene, I'm all eyes. I see everything. Irene, IRI and I, at the number 6, SESS. It's a shortcut of a creative way of saying success, because I love successes in our lives. We are a success because we're here, we're breathing, and we're here. .com. So there, thank you so much. You can send me an email. You can, and if you do send me an email, just in the topic, just put down, self leadership. That way I know where you came from. Or you can book a time. I've opened it up for the next couple of weeks, and on specific 2 days, and 15-minute conversation. Should you be interested to just even have a 15-minute laser, or or not? So yeah.
Love it. All right. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, I love questions.
Cool. Oop. Okay, I have to go back. I think Val. Val. Thank you, Val, for your question. Hey, Lewis and guest, Irene. I'll ask a question. How would you advise someone how to let go of things you know don't have any control over, but still constantly think about it?
Okay, good question.
What's the laser
Okay,
coaching?
so first and foremost, identify, and if it's more than one, what are those things that you want to let go of? Just
Mhm,
jot them down, and then go, why do I need to let go of?
mhm.
And how would that look differently when that's let go?
Right. What are you going to create your world to be
And
once
because
you let
because
go of it?
sometimes we don't let go because we are afraid or don't want to lose that, because that's our
Right.
comfort zone, right?
Right.
So what am I willing to 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 let to do to let that go? If
Right.
this is my why. So you need to,
Right.
not just say what it is.
Yeah.
And you know already from this question, um, that you have no control.
Right.
So let go of control.
Right.
You don't have control, let go of
Right.
control. You
I
can
always
only
say,
control yourself.
right, if you can't control the outcome, then stop focusing on it.
Right.
It's going to happen regardless if you're paying attention to it or not.
Yeah.
And you can't find a steering wheel to control it. So look the other way. I don't care if it's your sibling, your child, your pet.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can't control the outcome, stop looking at it, because it's only going to stress you out, and it's going to add more chaotic energy to the situation, because we are what we think and we project through
Mm-hmm.
our energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's easier to go get a hobby, go plant some flowers, go hug a tree, go, go,
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
go.
So,
So,
and ask yourself that question: why do I keep thinking about it?
yeah.
What is my
Yeah.
attachment, and how do
Is
I
it control?
detach?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Thank you. Hope that helps, Val. Debbie, I'm retired and I feel the need or desire to be connected mind, connected to
Like-minded
like-minded
people.
people, but find it isn't happening at this time.
Okay. So, great question. Congratulations on your retirement.
Right?
um, so, did you define what are those like-minded people? Define that. So almost kind of create kind of like you know, an ideal of who those like-minded people are, so that you know who they are. What is the like-mindedness mean? Is it the
Right.
same hobbies? Is it the same mindset? Well, like, what is that? And really kind of, you know, define that. And then when you're clear on that, you will know exactly where to go, because they will come.
So it's kind of like, instead of trying to find the people, find the energy.
Find the energy, be clear on who it is and what does that
Right.
mean. What
Right.
does
Don't put a face to
like-minded
it, but
people mean? Because
right.
it could be our belief system, and that's
Yep.
all.
Yep.
It could be, a specific society within certain roles. Let's say if you're, I don't know, you're like bocce ball playing, whatever it's called, those kind of things. Like, what is like-minded mean to you? Get clear on that. And
Right.
then identify, okay, what is the ideals? You're not looking the perfect, you're looking as an ideal. So it's almost like you have a picture of someone, of that will be the ideal. And then what happens? You're talking about energy, Lewis, because we put it in top of mind. All of a sudden, it's like you're thinking about a red car of XYZ style, and all of a
Yep.
sudden, that's all you see of a red car when you're driving,
Right.
right? It's because it's top of mind. I
So
hope that helps,
attractive.
Debbie. Absolutely, because it
Attractive.
just goes out. So the clearer and specific that you are, the clearer you know if where to go, because it
Right.
will show up.
And I want to add something to that. In your search for like-minded people, if you come to a table and you sit down and you're not vibing it, you have permission to leave.
Absolutely.
And it's not finding your tribe, finding your people is not necessarily a one and done. And
Correct.
sometimes it's a lead, and you take the lead and you find someone wonderful, and then you start walking with that person and they lead you to another one, and then so forth and so forth.
Hmm.
So it's not always about finding the group, it's about finding the person,
That's right.
and then the two of you create the group rather than joining the group. And therefore, whoever's at your table is
Hmm.
like-minded.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
hope that helps.
That's great.
Peggy, how do you stay in your lane and be the best version of yourself? Are there two different actions, like you have to choose one over the other?
So I guess the question, oh, that's a good question. So Peggy, I'm going to ask you to define what does staying in your lane mean? Because, you know, what does that mean? Are you trying to be someone else than yourself? Are you trying to be what others put you as a picture of to be?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so I don't know what I'd like to more to unravel that, because that's a safe question, and we need to kind of
So let me kind of put that into context, and then maybe we can get more of it.
yes,
So, I, and I'm not going to speak for Peggy, but
no,
I'm gonna kind of like
yeah,
infuse
yeah,
something with it. Stay in your own lane. So, you're looking for the best in people, and you're trying to put your best foot forward and all that sort of thing, but you're either getting smacked in the head, or that you're feeling like you're disappointed because of other people's actions. I think,
mm,
because I think
okay,
those are more common stay in your
right,
lane vibes.
okay. So, well, there's one thing that I always um, be the leader and not the follower. So,
Right,
what do I mean by that? Be you.
right.
Have no expectation of anybody. If you're doing something for someone, let go of any type of expectation to be reciprocated or done, you
Ah,
know, because when you do that, you're good. When you
right,
have no expectations of people, it's better.
right,
The minute you put expectations, you're putting pressure on yourself
right.
to
Yeah,
start going down and spiral through the emotions that you do. So, not everybody's going to, for example, not everybody's going to say hi to you just because you
right,
say hi.
right.
You know how many people I say good morning to when I leave where I live? And if I get one person,
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
because you live in a
wow,
hub.
right?
Yeah, there's
So,
nowhere
it's not, so it's really kind of, have no expectations of someone else. If you want to do XYZ, you do it because you want to,
right,
without an expectation of reciprocate.
right.
Eventually, it's up to you then. And if they don't reciprocate anything, then it's your choice. Do you keep
Show
doing it
up.
or not? And there's
Right,
no loss anything,
right.
right? So, um,
I think really it's about being authentic to who you are, you know?
exactly.
And there's a lot of people out there that identify as helpers. They want to help no
Yes.
matter what. And they're the ones that often go into burning buildings without any protection.
Right.
They just
Right.
dive right in because they know that they can help someone. But if someone's not willing to help themselves, or to take a step back and evaluate why are they in this situation,
Yeah.
then will have an easier time of moving Mount Kilimanjaro than moving that person off of their platform, because
Absolutely.
they want to stay on that platform for whatever reason. It could be selfishness, it could be fear, it could be ego, it could
They
be
could be
any
depressed. Who knows, right?
depressed, lack of knowledge.
Hmm.
So I when we just dig into our authentic true self, and we do it like you said, like because we want to, and not have an expectation of it being reciprocated back. Yes, I truly believe that we need to exchange energy, but
Absolutely.
if the energy is not exchanged on whatever level, walk away.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
now they're not willing to participate
Yeah.
in that format, to say thank you, to
Yeah.
give you a jar of chili,
Yeah.
whatever. It's something very much about, did Dion just come home?
Yeah, no, good. No, I just because it triggered something in a thought, and sometimes we don't know what's going on in somebody else's mind,
Right.
and we don't know you know what they're going through or whatever
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
even if it's something big or not. There have been times when I reach out to people, and I do it because that's how I want to do it. I
Right.
expect no return. And there goes months I don't hear. And then all of a sudden they're like boom, 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 boom in my face, so to speak. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, they're in a better place. So there was no expectation. And I just go with a flow. So, can you and find a way to feel good with going with the flow?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Going with the flow.
I hope that helps, Peggy. By the way, I'm Louis Maybe. I'm
Mhm.
psychic medium and intuitive. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can go to my website, louismaybe.com, and you can go to my booking app and book an appointment with me. And I'm also here with my special guest, Irene. She is an empowerment life coach. And you can reach out to her through her email because her website is being reconstructed. It's Irene, all I's, no E's, at six and then cess as in success.com. Um, say hi, please. I want to see who's tuning in and watching us. And it it's really good. Oh, Nina, how are you? Long time no see. Blast from the past. Holy moly. Um, I'm glad you're tuning in. I have a question for Paul from Paula. Hello. I started a modality of a couple of years ago to become a practitioner for holistic healing, but can't seem to get back into it after some life events and spending some time on my own healing. Good for you. Any advice on finding that passion again?
Mhm. So, great question. Thank you, Paula. Go back to your journal and go back to, what triggered you to want to be a practitioner for holistic healing. Go back to that. And then from there, ask the question, do I still want to do it? Do I still want to do it? You know, do I still want to do it? Because sometimes we change our minds.
Right,
Sometimes we're just in a different place because of, as you said, life events, right?
right,
And are you wanting to restart it because you have to, because you should, because you started and you didn't finish or didn't complete? Like, what is that? So
you're speaking my
those are the
language.
questions that you kind of like dissect and go deep and ask yourself those questions. And when you do that, and kind of download that in terms of on a piece of paper and all that, then go leave it, go back to it the next day and read it and say, okay, what is true? What is not?
Right. You said something very interesting, Paula, in your comment. Spending time on my own healing. Here's my connection with this psychically. What if you needed to go through this
Mhm.
to finally figure out how to heal? And what if this was the vessel?
Saying.
It might have been an expensive lesson financially. So I don't feel the passion for you to move forward. And I know that might feel weird to you because it's like, but I spent all this money and I took years of training to become a holistic healer. And I get it. But what if this was the only way the universe could get you to sit up and take notice?
Mhm.
I'm
Hmm.
not saying that you need to leave it and go get a desk job, but I would dig into pivoting on what you can offer that brings you light and joy in the holistic realm, and not necessarily focus on the details of what you learned, but create your own sphere to work in and have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like making a soup without a recipe. You just, oh, that might taste good. Oh, that might taste good. Do that. But don't be afraid to sample and try and redo until you get down what you need, what you feel like is going to connect. Because I feel like you're not far off. I just feel like the core that you thought was going to embrace your passion wasn't for that, it was for your healing.
Mm.
And and now that you've done a lot of the healing work, and you it and correct me if, well, actually make a comment about this, Paula. Did you in your healing need to set healthy boundaries for yourself with some of the incidentals in your world? Because that's a
Mm.
huge thing for you to be able to say, wait a second, I'm no longer there. And so when you bring it back to you and you're healing, you may not need to be the quintessential Googled holistic practitioner healer. You might want to bring in something else that makes it more uniquely you. And I think that's where you need to dig into. So thank you very much, Paula. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing. We also have something from Kathleen. My family is in turmoil. My adult kids with each other and mostly with me. Their father, my ex, passed away 6 months ago. For years, the problem has been building, and now the distance between everyone is huge. My one son is so angry towards me. I do not know. Hang on. I do not know if it will be repaired because of all the things compiled over the past 10 years. I feel so done, and rightfully so. How would you advise me, the mom, to navigate feeling like I just gave up and not feel like their feelings, her children's feelings towards me are just too dark to forgive? Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay.
This is this cliff notes, because this would be like 2 hours of conversation.
Right. Right. So write a letter to yourself. How about we do a very
Wow.
laser? Write
Yes.
a letter for yourself of forgiveness. What does that mean? Do you forgive yourself on everything that you're feeling here and what you shared with us here? So thank you for sharing with us and feeling comfortable to do
Trusting.
so.
Yeah. Hmm.
And let's start there because this
Yeah.
could go on as Lewis said. Um, and be as truthful from your heart for that letter.
Yeah.
You know, what talk about forgiveness. What does that mean
Yeah.
to you? What are you looking for from forgiveness? What are you ready to forgive? All of those questions that go within that. Because, whenever there is a death in a family, we always hope, especially in a family unit, that the family continues. But everybody's hurting, and everybody's hurting in a different way. And everybody deals with that in a different way. And each person either will deal with it or not deal with it, and or explode and get angry and all of those things.
Right.
So how are you dealing with it? That's your letter to yourself. So if you were going to coach yourself,
Yeah.
write a letter, pour your heart out. You
Yeah.
can burn it after that. I don't really care, but just get it out because it's cathartic for you to deal with these emotions and feelings
Right.
and jot them down. Because what happens when you jot them down, the truth comes out
Right.
and insights come out.
Yeah.
and revelations come out.
Yeah.
And then sometimes decisions come out. But
Yeah.
don't look for any of that. Just do it. Just
Right.
write it.
Right.
And this is for you.
Yeah. And I want to add something to what you said with about writing something in the letter about resolution. Don't write down what you wish to
Yeah,
happen,
correct.
because that's likely not going to happen, or at least
Well,
the way
then
you
you're
think it's going to
controlling it.
happen,
You're controlling
because
the
you're trying to
outcome. You can't
control it.
control the outcome.
Exactly. So what you want to do is, what is it going to take from me to be at peace with the situation it currently is in? Because
Mm-hmm.
you can't be the conductor of the symphony and tell them when to perform.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to stay in their lane. You need to develop your lane and stop trying to be a 12-lane highway.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to and duck and weave and playing dodgeball with people that are supposed to love you, and it's not
Right.
even really about love. They just aren't in the same space that you are with the healing.
Yeah.
And going back to the healing, that's where I feel like this letter to you is coming from a healing standpoint. What do I need to do for myself to
Mm-hmm.
be able to let go without necessarily giving up hope, but to let go so there's no
Yeah.
expectations, and then move forward, not on, move
Yeah.
forward with
Yeah.
life. And when you're deciding to move forward, this is, you might have to be a one person army in the beginning, but you got to show everyone around you, including yourself, not only what you're made of, but what you're willing to put up with and not willing to put up with through your actions. And sometimes your actions is your silence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that old saying, just because you're invited to a fight doesn't mean you need to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So stop showing up to other people's chaos, even though it is your children, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in order for it to have any healing, Kathleen, 100,000 million percent, you got to remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah.
You just do you, boo. And then with your absence, one, maybe all of them will slowly turn the lights on and go, wait a second,
Mm-hmm.
where's
And
my
and
mom?
they, yeah, and they. I mean, we don't know what was said to them
Right,
since you. It was an ex. You don't know what the programming and the mindset has been, and now it's showing itself because they've been cut off because
right.
the father unfortunately passed.
So it's like their lifeline
Um,
just got disconnected.
that's it. And
They're breathing
so
tube.
so everybody grieves differently. It doesn't mean we
Right.
accept how they grieve, but they do. We
And a
grieve
lot of
differently.
people will
And
grieve
and and
with,
write that. And after you write that letter, then I'm going to ask you to write a second letter,
oh,
your last letter for yourself for the moment. It's a self-love letter.
yeah, yeah,
Everything that you love about you,
right, right.
everything that
And
you
when you do write that, you make sure it's like, I don't like,
know.
your love letter is, I love my curves. I love, that I'm funny, or at least I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
This is a
That I'm
love
caring,
letter.
that I'm open, that I'm like,
Exactly.
be, love yourself.
Right.
Really, if you love something or someone, whatever it is, and you give all your love there, do that for you and write
Yeah.
that letter. But be as authentic as you can be.
Right. Yeah. Very good. And again, there's a lot of more to unpack with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but start there, because at least you have a direction and you're not lost in space or translation of trying to please your children or trying to find a connection with your children when they're not willing to show up. So you have to just focus on what you're able to contribute to your well-being and to your self-love.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Nina has a question. Is there a way to help my mom through her grieving from losing my daddy on December
Mm.
23rd, 23? Not sure this is the right show for this question, but I'm lost in help here. Yeah,
Um, I guess I need to just a bit of clarity and does she want to heal?
good
Is
question.
she ready to let go?
Right,
Because you can't help anyone until they're ready and wanting your help.
right. Yes, true.
You know, if someone is 500 pounds and you want to help them, but they're not ready, you can't help them until they say, I want to help. I want to get rid
I
of that
want,
500
right.
pounds.
And
This is
what,
the same scenario
yeah,
in that way.
yeah,
You know, is she hanging on? I mean, I don't know how many years they've been together. Like you know, there's a
right,
lot to kind of ask
yeah,
a lot of questions, but
yeah,
without knowing, I would probably say, you know, helping her is being present when she needs it.
right,
Sometimes it's in silence, just holding that space for her and let her get it all out.
yeah,
And it doesn't mean you need to say anything or have
right,
something planned.
yeah.
Distracting
Nina,
her doing other things would
oh,
only work if that's who that person is,
for
but
the
that doesn't
distraction,
work.
that's about it.
So creating a safe space for just for her to be and be
Yeah,
her real self
yeah.
sometimes is the first step.
And and Nina elaborated a little bit more that her mom was found not eating like she should. She was found 2 weeks after he passed, unresponsive on the toilet, and she was there for 17 hours
Oh
unresponsive.
wow.
Now
Okay.
that was 2 weeks after he passed. So
Right.
obviously the grief is much larger. They've been together for 55 years, but I with with the time we're at now in 2024. um, Again, healing doesn't have an
Time.
expiry date.
No.
Um,
And does she need
it-
to speak to someone?
yeah,
Does she need to speak to a grief counselor of some
yeah,
sort?
or be even involved with a grief group.
Or a
There's
grief group? Yeah.
there's lots of people, or there's lots of um, um, there's lots of groups out there that specialize in spousal grieving, child grieving, like that sort of thing. So I
Hmm.
would maybe try to look for some resources close to
Yeah.
her and at least put the information in front of her,
Yeah.
because I can guarantee you, Nina, that she thinks she's the only one going through this. And not that she doesn't think on the outside level that other people die. She knows that. But her
Hmm.
grief is her own uniqueness because
Hmm.
of the connection with your father for 55 years. And all of a sudden she's like, I just got my left hand cut off. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And that's
How am I
tough.
supposed to function? It's like when someone's always pumped your gas your entire life and filled your car up, and now they're no longer there. And you have no idea. You know how to pull up to the gas station,
Yeah.
but you don't know how to, pump the gas. But
Hmm.
I definitely feel like letting her still have the control of choice, but yet it's kind of like when you're trying to parent your child and you know that they need to be disciplined. So what you do is you give them two options. They have to pick the two options, but it's your options. And so they get to
Hmm.
still feel like they have some power with it. And so I feel like if you were to like have some resources at your fingertips and
Yeah.
present them to her, then you can slowly start the conversation about, Mom, I'm concerned for you. I really want you to know that I care for you and that I want you here as long as possible. So would you be willing? And just an FYI, Nina, your dad's around and he's like, he's being funny, but he's like saying, kick your ass, kick her ass, kick her ass, kick her ass. So, but he's being funny with that. But he does want to send and love to both of you and the family, because he was kind of like the rock. So yeah, but I would definitely start with the resources. So
Yeah.
Kathleen commented about what you shared. That was mind blowing. I'm bawling. Thank you so very much, so very much. This has been so big. You have given me a place to start. the place to start. No, and that's exactly it. We
That's it.
just need a place to start and
Yeah,
just follow through.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Bawling is good. It's
I love.
cathartic.
Oh yeah,
Keep crying.
I'm a crier, so I do it in private. But man, oh man, you know,
Let it
uh,
out. It's
yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah. So Nina says, "Yep, that would be him." Um, and you're welcome, Nina. And there's Michael Place from Scarringtons. Okay, that's a personal joke. Hello, Michael Place. I thought you were leaving today. Michael lives in Los Angeles or lives in California, and he's visiting the Wicked Witch of the West, Michael Arrington, my friend,
Mm,
who I'll be seeing in a few weeks along with Janet. So
nice.
we are like 8:08, and
Woo.
I think it's time to wrap this up. Um, Thank you so much, everyone. Again, if you want to get
Yes.
in touch with Irene, please email her. The Irene All Eyes at X or sorry 6sess.com. And you can find her on Instagram with irene.michaelitis. And she's working on her website to get it booked. If you want a consultation to see if the two of you are a fit, please go to calendly.com. You can look at it in the comments for the link. And I'm Louis Maybe. And if you want a book, go to my website, louismaybe.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, with Louis Maybe, or Facebook, Louis Maybe Spiritual. Thank
Mhm.
you ever so much, Irene. It's been great. And this was your
Thank you.
maiden virgin voyage into live streams, and you did great. And
Thank you. Thank you so
um,
much for having me, and it's a pleasure to
I am
be here.
so honored that we were able to spend time together. Uh, Next week, I'll be back and I'll be answering questions. So get all your friends in there and get tuned in. Until next time, be safe, be well. Happy February 29th, people. Tomorrow's March 1st. Yay! It's already the third month of the year. Any parting words, Irene? Anything to give everyone the last hurrah?
Everyone, be your true authentic self in life.
Yes,
That's it.
yes,
So that's beautiful on its own.
that's for sure. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We will talk later, and I'll
Yeah.
talk to you after the
Yeah.
show. So, bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thanks very
Bye.
much. Love you.